Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks. And yeah, a bit of a change to what I was planning to do today with this video. I had a few people ask me about the Mercenaries announcement. Obviously, some of you or most of you will have probably seen this. On June the 26th, we are getting Mercenaries, a new tank line, and some new map variants, etc. And a few of you on my random destruction video that I did yesterday, because I think that's when this was announced. Was it yesterday it was announced? Or possibly the day before, anyway. Yeah, so a few people asked me about my thoughts on it, because some of you are quite excited for this to come, some of you are not so excited, and I can see it from both points of view. Me personally, I'm looking forward to this. I'm interested to see how these tanks are going to fit into the game itself with how they're done, and but yeah, I am looking forward to it. I can see why some people aren't, because there are some people out there that prefer the more historical side of this, and didn't like things like the Edelweiss and what have you that came into it. And obviously, I mean, there's loads of arguments and counter arguments and everything. That some people say I don't like these fantasy tanks or paper tanks, whatever. And then obviously the counter argument to that is that a lot of the tanks in the game never existed. They were just plans or prototypes. Some never even made it off the drawing board. And then obviously the counter argument to that is that, well, yeah, that's true, but at least they were designed or planned in that time period and are sort of authentic, authentic as far as that goes. So yeah, there's loads of counter arguments and all that sort of crap. So I'm not going to get into that. Personally, I'm looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to how some of these tanks work out. So yeah, it's coming June 26th, along with various other updates. It is a new tank line. I'm not going to show the trailer. I don't think I will. I will put a link to the page in the description down below. So if you want to go and look at the trailer, you can do. And yeah, a bit different with how it works. Trying to see if there's 5 mercenary vehicles available at launch, with more on the way, in the sort of coming weeks, etc. And it says that some of the fan favorite maps. So maybe they did a poll on Twitter, I think it was. It was a few weeks back. I can barely remember what I did yesterday. Never mind, a few weeks back. But yeah, no, I think it was to do with maps and possibly even what your favourite ones were, maybe, or I could be getting that completely wrong. So maybe they were looking at the ones that they were going to overhaul. But I'm hoping, and I've been trying to get confirmation of this, but I'm hoping that the maps are going to be in addition to, so they're going to be added as variants rather than replacing whatever they're a variant of. I think I've seen one that's a variant of Himmelsdorf, so I'm hoping it gets added in additionally rather than replacing the existing Himmelsdorf. But with the download limit being lifted, the 50 gig download limit being lifted on the updates, hopefully there will be an addition to as well. So yeah, the thing that it's really going on about is the new vehicles and the way that they're earned, and there are contracts basically. You don't grind through XP to unlock them. I can only assume, because you don't grind through XP, that these tanks are as is. There are no upgrades for them. That's something I should have actually confirmed. But yeah, I'm assuming there are no upgrades for them, that the tank just is sort of, what you see is what you get. And it is going to be interesting to see that. I mean, it kind of reminds me, the contracts remind me somewhat of personal missions from PC, where I don't know what the contracts are going to entail. But it does sound like that, where you'll complete a certain amount of things, and obviously you'll then get the tank. You can skip the contracts if you want, and it seems to be that they are gold priced. But it also looks like if you sell the tank, you can then rebuy it for silver instead of gold. So it does seem that if you pay gold, you can basically skip the contract and just unlock the tank. Don't know how that's going to quite work out, but you are basically now, I think as Jack the Ripper said, you're now able to basically pay for the first time real money for tech tree tanks, which is a little bit odd. So we'll have to see how that works out. I don't think, I'm not going to be skipping any contracts. I'm just going to get them done, crack on, and get those contracts completed. So another thing it mentions as well is the crews. It says new crews and redefined battle roles are available, giving you the opportunity to feel closer to the action than ever before. Each tank is complemented by a special trained crew that matches its playstyle, and you will have the opportunity to continue to earn skills as you fight and progress. So that's going to be interesting to see how that works out with the crews. So, I mean, it says that they're a specially trained crew, so I'm assuming, and this is just an assumption, that they will either have maybe one or a couple of skills suited to that tank. You know, that's what it kind of implying there, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, there was a press event in London, as some of you will be aware. Jack the Ripper and Sins made it down to that yesterday. I couldn't, unfortunately, make it down, but unfortunately there were some technical issues as well. So I don't know if I don't think they actually got a chance to have a sort of mess about with some of these, or as much of a mess about as they would have liked. But I've been on to Carbide, our fantastic console community manager today, and he's given me sort of some info on some of these. Most of the things that these are made out of, I could pretty much guess, but that's basically essentially what they are. They're basically tanks that are sort of hobbled or Frankensteined, if you will, together from various different parts. So I've just been trying to confirm what those parts are and kind of get a rough idea of how they'll perform. Not so much with engines and things like that, because they are different. But just the sort of hulls, armour, guns, etc. So I'll go through those pictures in a minute and sort of name them and give you a few sort of details as I can. And it does say at the bottom they work very closely with a group of players on the initial designs and concepts of the new tanks being introduced with the Mercenaries line, with a larger group of players helping us to gather feedback on aesthetics and balance through live tests. So it does say it was a fully collaborative effort, and they want to thank each and every member of the community for their contributions. So it's good that they've actually done this in conjunction with a large amount of the community. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this personally. I'm interested to see how these play out, and I think it might give a bit of freshness to the game. But we'll have to see. With them being different tanks, I mean, there can't be that many more real world tanks, prototypes, designs, or whatever left to really put into the game. I mean, obviously there's the Polish and the Italian lines that PC have got. With them to come, but we've got to be getting towards the end of what's actually out there for them to put in. Excuse me, just had a drop of coffee there. So right, let's have a look at these, and I shall sort of name some of these as we go through the pictures. So I do have some details, get my notes up. Where are we? Okay, now this is Stubbs, and Stubbs consists of, when I can find out where it is. Here we are, yeah, a Chaffee hull, a Wolverine turret. I don't know if there's another picture. Is the next one Stubbs? Yeah, there we go. That's a bit better. So yeah, you've got a Chaffee hull, you've got a Wolverine turret on it, and what is I think a French 25 pounder. Not quite sure what that one's off, but I think now Stubbs a tier 5. I cannot remember. The tech tree actually starts at tier 3. There is no tier 1 and 2 on this. So yeah, Chaffee hull, Wolverine turret, and a French 25 pounder. Now, armour wise and gun stat wise, or gun performance wise, not so much stat wise, I should say, but performance wise, they're basically going to be very, very similar, if not the same, as their original parent tanks, if you will. So there might be the odd change to the gun stats, aim time, accuracy, etc. I can't confirm or sort of deny that, because I just don't know. But armour-wise, yeah, it's basically going to be the same as the sort of parent tanks. But where you see apparently where you see extra armour plates on, for example, there's one called Big Top, which has got these armour plates on the side. Apparently they are modelled on to act as extra armour, so as, spaced armour, which is nice. I was hoping they wouldn't just be cosmetic, and it turns out they're not. So yeah, that's Stubbs. What else have we got? This is Big Top, if I remember rightly. Nope, that's not Big Top. That is Slapjack, sorry. Yeah, this is Slapjack. So it's an IS hull. So obviously the Russian Tier 7 heavy hull. It is a T-29 turret. And it is a German Short 88 and gun mantle from a Tiger. And it's actually got the German Short 88 gun stats. If you remember, or some of you might not remember, you might not have been playing the game that long. But the Short 88 stats got buffed. I think it was not long after the Tiger 131 came out. And the German Short 88 stats got buffed slightly. But it didn't get buffed on things like the T-34-88 and sort of other non-German things that use the Short 88. I can't think what there is now, but anyway. So yeah, it did get buffed. So yeah, that's the gun mantle from the Tiger, the short 88 from a Tiger, a T29 turret, and an IS hull. So that's going to be quite an interesting one to have a look at. I mean, if that's got the gun depression of the T29 and that T29's strength on the front of the turret, which it should do, that's what it should have, then that's going to be quite interesting. However, some of the strength of the T29's turret front comes from its gun mantle. So with it having that Tiger gun mantle, will that affect it? We'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, that is Slapjack. In fact, there's another picture of it you can see there. So yeah, according to this, I mean, if that's an armor plate there, that could possibly act as spaced armor. I'm not sure if that is actually an armor plate that they've added on, or whether it is just a container for the bedding roll, being on the side. So let's have a look. Now this is Needle. I did misidentify this slightly actually originally, but I've been set straight. I did think it was a Panzer III hull. The turret, I do recognise it. Obviously, I've seen it on a few tanks, but I wasn't sure which one they'd actually taken it from. And I also, misidentified the gun on this as well. So anyway, yeah, 0 for 3 on that one. So yeah, the hull is actually a Panzer IIJ. Which, I mean, that's a bloody tough hull. Panzer IIJ, I mean, if you get into a tier 3 match, the Panzer IIJ is a very tough little tank, and it's the one that you could get free with PlayStation Plus for a while. I don't know if you still can. So yeah, it's a Panzer. I am thinking of the right tank, aren't I? Panzer IIJ. I've probably just got that completely wrong. It won't be the first time I've got something wrong. But anyway, yeah, Panzer IIJ hull. Let's have a look, with a Lux turret and a long Russian 45mm. I thought it was a 50mm, like some sort of German 50mm. So yeah, Panzer IIJ hull, Lux turret, and a Russian 45mm. So that one could be quite interesting. Could have quite a tough hull on that one, but is it going to get... Now, I think this one has actually got a bigger engine as well, by the way. Don't get worried, because the Panzer IIJ is not known for being quick. But I think this has had a bigger engine slapped in it. And it would need it, because I'm assuming it's going to be playing... I think, if I remember rightly, this could be the Tier 4. And if it is the Tier 4, and it's going to be playing up to Tier 6, it's going to need that bigger engine. But we'll have to wait and see. You can see the tech tree. I'll see if I can find a link to it as well, and stick an image of the stick a link to the image of the tech tree in the description as well. So I apologise if I can't, but there you go. Now, this one is let's have a look. And if I can find the name of it, this one is Plaguebringer. Now, Plaguebringer, as some of you more eagle-eyed, it's a Sherman hull. Some of you more eagle-eyed ones will have noticed that it's an E4 hull, because some of the pictures I've seen are from the side, and it didn't look like an Easy 8 or a jumbo. I kind of did think one of them was a jumbo hull at one point, but no, it's a Sherman E4 hull. So you're looking at the Ripper, and obviously the E4, the plain E4 that you can buy, with a Hellcat turret. And I don't know if there's a picture of it from the side. There we go. So yeah, with a Hellcat turret and a 90mm gun. So hopefully it'll have a better hull traverse than the actual Hellcat turret. I'm assuming it will, because, well, I'm assuming it's put in as a medium tank and not a TD. So yeah, Sherman E4 hull, which is not bad in its own tier. I don't know how it's going to perform on this, what tier this is going to be. But yeah, with a 90mm gun as well, so it could be quite interesting on that one. That's another picture of it. Road wheels on the side. Don't know if they will act as extra armor or not. I know that there's some of the plates that have been sort of welded on and modelled on do, but I don't know about the road wheels. That's something I'm not entirely sure about. There you are, from the back as well. That's Needle again. Oh yeah, there you go. Slowly back across. This is on the PlayStation. So yeah, that's part of one of the sort of revamped maps, the variants, and I'm trying to identify that. It kind of looks a bit like Liberty Falls, although I could be completely wrong on that one. That certainly looks like Himmelsdorf, and it kind of looks, I mean, I think it's set in about 1953, it says on the article, so it kind of looks like a sort of very neon 80s, 50s, if you see what I mean. I know that sounds weird, but yeah, there you go. Anyway, back to identifying these, and these are the, I think, these are the 5 that are going to be available sort of on release. So this one is Big Top. And this one again, this is the one that I wasn't sure about the hull shape at first because I could only see this side of it, and I thought, is that a jumbo? I don't know. It kind of looks a bit like it, but turns out it's not. This is an E4 hull, again a Sherman E4 hull, with a Pershing turret and again a 90mm gun. These plates on the side here, they are modelled on to act as spaced armour as well, so that is nice. So it's got a little bit extra armour on the sides there. Oh, there's another shot of one of the maps. I'm pretty sure that is Himmelsdorf. It certainly looks like it. There you go, that's where we want one. Big Top back. No, now I'm looking at that. That looks a bit like Fjords, possibly. No? Not Fjords? Oh, I don't know. Misidentifying crap again. Anyway, so yeah, Big Top. Now, that also looks like the Pershing's gun mantle, which would make sense. You know, it looks like it's a Pershing gun as well as turret. So the Pershing gun mantle, it's got that nice little trick up its sleeve, that really thick strip of armour right across the front of the gun mantle, across the middle. It's about 200 or 200 plus. It's just a strip right across the middle, but it is a nice little trick up the Pershing sleeve, that one. You know, it can have quite a trolly gun mantle on it, so that'll be quite interesting to see how that turns out. But again, it's another E4 hull. So I'm not quite sure why they've used all just sort of E4s. Now again, not entirely sure what this map is. I'm trying to figure it out. I did think Liberty Falls again at first, but then I thought, no, those falls are too far back. There's no real way up there. I just couldn't quite figure out whereabouts this map is or which one it's based on. But there's a couple of shots of some of the maps. Yeah, that's definitely Himmelsdorf. Definitely. That looks like it's down at the south end of the map, with the spawn had been just down here somewhere. And obviously the middle sort of parks over here. But anyway, there you go. And I think that's it. 18 out of 19. Do we have one more picture? And yeah, we do. It's just Big Top again from the front. So yeah, some interesting stuff in there. Be interesting to see how they play and how it turns out. But I'm kind of looking forward to it. It's something very, very different. They are very different tanks. You know, you can't deny that. We've had a lot of reskins recently. But at least, you know, these are very different. But I am very much sort of looking forward to this and seeing how it turns out and progresses and seeing how they go. Now, I believe along with this there are some sort of they call it kind of like an intro to the sort of world of Mercenaries. I do think it's a PvE sort of mode, like a bit like War Stories, sort of 3 short War Stories, if I remember rightly, which kind of just introduces some of the tanks and what have you. And I think you get to use a completely separate tank for that isn't available out of the main tech tree. So yeah, there you go. Completely different video to what I had planned today. But I got asked that question a couple of times on the video about what my thoughts are on this. So yeah, I mean, like I say, I'm looking forward to it. And I don't think it's going to be. I don't think. You see, I know why this sort of the people who prefer the sort of more historically accurate. I mean, it's not a historically accurate game. Half the tanks that are in the game that were actual tanks who sort of got bigger engines or better performance than they did in real life. But I think they might be, those sort of people, they might be kind of worried about these being very invasive on the game and kind of changing the rate of play and how it reacts. So I mean, if these tanks are balanced properly, I don't think it's going to be too much of an effect at all. And I mean, I would predict that we'll probably see quite a few mercenary tanks running about when it first comes on, and then over the next few weeks they'll sort of settle down a bit and they'll just get to the normal level, just like you do with anything. You know, whenever you see new tanks or new tank lines, especially coming into the game, you're just inundated with them, and you see them in like loads of matches, and after a couple of 3 weeks it sort of dies down and people go back to playing sort of, their other tanks and that sort of thing. So there you have it, really. So yeah, that's it. Like I say, I'll put a link in for the page so that you can have a look at the trailer yourself, and just let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Interested to see what you think about these mercenary lines. I think it could be good for it. I think it could be good. It's something a bit fresh and a bit different, and I know a few people have said recently that it's sort of feeling a bit stale, so hopefully this will mix things up a bit. But there you go. Anyway, have a great weekend. I shall try, for those of you that watch it, I know I've been very slacking on LA Noire recently. I'm going to try and get an LA Noire video sort of knocked out this afternoon for upload tomorrow. But if I can't, I will certainly try and catch up over the weekend or very early next week and try and turn out sort of 2 or 3 that I can just upload separately. Sorry about that. I just had to have a bit more of my coffee because I've been talking for a long, well, not a long time, but just non-stop. But there you go. Anyway, have a great weekend out there, everybody. And yeah, like I say, let me know your thoughts on the Mercenaries. So yeah, have a great weekend. Take care out there, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.